Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to Wait, What? Why? The podcast that ponders the origins behind the things that we do. Thank you for taking the time to join us today as we discuss the origins of Cinco de Mayo. I'm Nicole Gallagher.
And I'm Dennis Gallagher.
How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Had a busy, frustrating kind of day. Didn't get as much done as I wanted to get done. I ended up doing more running around than getting stuff done. That's always a bummer. But yeah, doing all right. Can't complain. Sun's out finally.
It's beautiful.
Right? After a day of rain. So I'll take it.
I feel like the sun just feels so warm.
It does. It's finally getting to that time of year. Yes. It's high enough in the sky where it pops out of the clouds and it's like, oh.
This is the exact reason why I love seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was sunny and 75 all year long, you'd have nothing to look forward to.
Well, we have a bunch of listeners, hopefully, that live where it's sunny and 75 all the time. So if that's what you're into, then God bless you. That's fantastic. I love seasons. We love the change in seasons.
Because by the time I'm over winter, the sunbeams are beautiful and feel so warm, and I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I think I'm ready for a little less latitude, to be honest with you. I think the 6 months of winter is a bit much. I would take 2 months of winter. Maybe 2.5 months, but I don't know about 6. You're looking at me like that. We can just do the holidays. I am a New Englander.
Yeah, sure.
I'm one that apparently can't get away from this latitude.
Well, I do love fires, and it's cold.
Yes, you do.
So
yes, you do.
I don't want to give that up. If it's hot out, you can't have fires.
So yes, I'm doing wonderful today, dear. The sun is beautiful.
The sun is beautiful.
Winters are just the right length.
The flowers are blooming. The grass is green. Yeah.
Yeah, it smells like poop because we have a big dog, but besides that.
TMI.
Well, that's what they are. If they see pictures, they're going to see us with a giant dog.
Yes.
They know. Anybody who's a big dog knows.
Check out our social media and see our beautiful Gryffindor.
Yeah, and not our beautiful lawn.
I won't take pictures of that. It's a half a lawn.
It is barely a half a lawn.
Semi-lawn, I guess.
Yes. He's working to destroy it.
Yes, and he's pretty successful.
He's pretty successful at it. Yeah, he's good at his job.
Way to go, Griff. All right. So,
how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
We're in the, final stretch of the school year, 7 weeks to go. And it feels crazy and a little hectic. But it's nice. Like I said, it's something to look forward to with the season change. I love the season. So the season's changing and the sun being out and you see the kids out on the field and lacrosse is happening and softball and baseball and track. And it's just exciting. It's an exciting time of year.
Do you think it gets harder to keep the kids on track, change of season as well as the end of the year in sight?
Yeah, as always. Yeah.
They're looking out the window, daydreaming at the sun too.
The sun and the stars and the moon aligning. Friday the 13th, the week before break.
Shiny
Christmas is coming up. Halloween.
Okay, I understand. 7th
April
grade.
Fool's Day.
Sure. It's always tough keeping them on track, is what you're saying.
Assemblies, pep rallies,
Yeah. So this time of year, it's the sun and the outside stuff, but take your pick any other time of year.
Yeah.
Get it. I got it. Makes sense.
7th grade brain, I call it.
Sure. Yes.
Middle school brain.
I didn't think of that.
It's probably a little easier if, I would imagine that it's harder for 8th grade teachers or 12th grade or teachers of seniors because they're moving on to the next big step in their life. So that's got to be a little harder because they're over middle school, right? 8th grade is
anxiety towards the end of the year
now,
or whatever.
I'm over it. I'm leaving.
Oh, too cool for school.
See you later.
Yeah, too cool for school.
And then you do have the flip side, the anxiety.
Right, the anxiety
I don't want to leave you.
What are we going to do now?
Yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, no, it's all good. I have no complaints.
Cool. Yeah. So what are we talking about there, storyteller?
Well, before we get started, I wanted to ask our listeners to do us a favor. So we would like you to tell a friend about our little podcast. We're a little indie podcast, so we don't make any money doing this. And so therefore, we don't have the money to advertise for our podcast. So we need you in order to help us to grow. So we're hoping that we can rely on your word of mouth just to, let people know, share it. If you have a favorite episode, share that. On our social media, I put out one of my favorite episodes that we've done so far is actually, I think, our second episode we've ever done, which was 40 Days and 40 Nights.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that
made
was
fun of pretty good. Yeah.
Dennis is hysterical in that. So if you haven't listened, it's not that you're, I don't want to say this is going to sound mean. It's not that you're funny, but the the beliefs that you had, I just never knew, and we've been together a long time. So it was like mind-blowing to me. Like, what? What are you talking about? Where did this come from?
My deep, dark secrets came out. Yeah, I guess so.
It was bizarre.
So, yes.
So that was one of my favorite episodes. Again, and I think that was episode 2. And then another one was Taco Liberty Bell.
Yeah, that's a funny one, too.
I was posting a lot about on our social media, if you've checked it out, because we found some other posts about some hikes we were doing that related to that episode. So that was fun. So if you have a favorite episode, share that with a friend or,
Yeah, anything you can do to spread the word. Anything you can do to spread the word because, like Nick said, we're not spending money on advertising. The internet is a wonderful thing, the World Wide Web, that we can reach out the way we are, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. But yeah, in order to take things a step further, we have to have that capital, and we don't really have it. So spread the word, and we'll get bigger and bigger, and it'll be organic that way.
Yes, and just throwing this out there, our most popular episodes were episode 11, which was with our daughter, when I did it with Hannah, our daughter
Hannah's
Hannah.
Funny, yeah.
Let's Go Snurfing. Yep. And then episode 9, Balls. Those are our...
Also funny.
Also funny.
Yes.
Those are our top 2. So, you can always share them too. But let us know, or no, you don't have to let us know, but if you could share it and put it out there, we would greatly appreciate your support.
Any help is appreciated.
So today we're going to talk about Mardi Gras. It is Oh
Mardi
my gosh.
Did you just skip a beat? Are we going back in time?
We went back in time.
You know
why?
Don't you have the controls on this?
It's Cinco de Mayo, but I feel like all we've talked about is booze lately. We did Mardi Gras, and then we did St. Patrick's Day, and then we did 2 episodes on beer. And now we're doing
Cinco de
Mayo, which isn't really about alcohol, but in American culture, it's about the margaritas.
It kind of is.
It's about the tequila.
If you have a local Mexican restaurant or any Mexican restaurant around you, it will be slammed on Thursday.
Slamming. And we do have a favorite.
We have a couple. We have a favorite for sure, but we have a few of them around, and they will all be slammed. Sure.
So in Little Rochester, New Hampshire, where we live, La Corona.
La Corona has got fantastic margaritas. Matter of fact, everything on their menu is excellent.
And it's a family-run business, and they're amazing.
Yeah,
even
amazing.
Through all of the pandemic and everything else that happened, they're good.
Yeah, they did a great job with outdoor seating, right? You name it. They were right on it, right through that whole thing. So, yeah, I can't say enough about them to give a local shout-out. La Corona, fantastic. Yeah. But La Corona will be very, very busy on Thursday.
They will be.
Very busy.
Expect to wait if you're in the area.
I don't think they take reservations, No. Lots of margaritas on Thursday.
I feel like we've been on this little alcohol kick.
Well, we apologize, but not really.
It was unintended, really. It just happened.
I like the way you stare in the bus.
Thank you.
Take us right down. What's next? We'll go down Jack Daniels somewhere in the future. We'll deal with that when we get there.
We'll say the origins.
That's good. Yeah. So this is not about tequila, right?
No, it is not
like you said.
It is about.
I'm sure the origins aren't as twisted as we Americans have made it, but.
So you ready to dive in?
Yeah. Show it off.
All right. Here we go. So Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. A holiday that celebrates the date of the Mexican Army's victory over France at the Battle of Puebla during the Franco-Mexican War. And that happened on May 5th, 1862. This day is also known as the Battle of Puebla Day. While it's a relatively minor holiday in Mexico. However, in the United States, Cinco de Mayo has evolved, some would say, into another reason to whoop it up and drink and celebrate.
Let your hair down.
But also some would say it's a commemoration of Mexican culture and heritage that, has entered into, our culture. So fun fact, Cinco de Mayo is not about Mexican Independence Day. Is that what you've heard?
I don't know that I really knew the answer, honey. So
really?
Yeah, no.
You never thought about
what is Cinco I don't really remember. I don't remember Cinco de Mayo being much of a holiday when I was younger. It definitely, the way I remember it, evolved.
Oh, growing up, I never heard
right.
About it.
And then it was a big thing, and it was a big thing quickly, again, the way I remember it. As soon as I remember hearing about it, it was because it was a big thing or becoming a big thing, a big celebration.
Is it when you were a bartender?
Probably. And I never really knew of the origins of how it was supposed to.
I always thought it was Mexican Independence Day, and I don't know where I heard that.
Yeah, independence from what?
Apparently, that is a common
misconception?
Myth. Yeah.
Okay.
That it's not. Mexican independence was declared more than 50 years before the Battle of Puebla. which took place on September 16th. So this is the anniversary of the revolutionary priest Miguel Hidalgo y Castilla's famous Grito de Dolores.
That's one of the better pronunciations you had right there. I'm very proud of you. And that could be wrong, but it sounds right to me. I like that.
I feel like that was pretty good.
You usually butcher your way right through those. So that was very good.
Referring to the city of Dolores Hidalgo in Mexico, a call to arms that amounted to a declaration of war against the Spanish colonial government in 1810. So that was Mexican Independence Day. According to History.com, which is where I get a lot of my information from on this, and of course there are always sources listed in our show notes that you can check out. We fact-checked this. So in 1861, Benito Juarez, a lawyer and member of the indigenous Zapotec tribe, was elected president of Mexico. At the time, the country was in financial ruin after years of internal strife, and the new president was forced to default on his debt payments with European governments. So in response to that, France, Britain, and Spain sent their naval forces to Veracruz, Mexico, demanding payment on these loans. Britain and Spain negotiated with Mexico and ended up withdrawing their forces. However, France did not. France at the time was ruled by Napoleon III, and he decided to use the opportunity to get himself an empire out of Mexican territory.
Big surprise.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right. Napoleon liked that stuff.
Yeah. So late in 1861, the French stormed Veracruz, forcing President Juarez and his government to retreat. This leads to the Battle of Puebla.
Okay. Here we go.
Yes. So, certain that success would come swiftly, 6,000 French troops under General Charles Latreille de Lorenzes set out to attack Puebla de Los Angeles, a small town in east central Mexico. From his headquarters in the north, Juarez rounded up a force of 2,000 loyal men. Many of them were either indigenous Mexicans or of mixed ancestry, and sent them to Puebla. They were vastly outnumbered, they didn't have many supplies, and they were led by the Texas-born General Ignacio Zaragoza, who had them fortify the town and prepare for the French assault. Then on May 5th, 1862, Lorenzes gathered his army, supported by heavy artillery, before the city of Puebla and led an assault. The battle lasted from sunup to sundown, and the French ended up retreating. They had over 500 casualties, whereas the Mexicans only had about 100 casualties.
And they were outnumbered 3-1.
Yes.
Yep. Hoorah, Mexico.
Yeah.
That's a tough victory right there. That's awesome.
Right. It was good for them. It was very small. Like, it was a very small victory for them.
Yeah, we're talking about hundreds of people instead of thousands. I understand that, but they still were outnumbered 3-1.
Yeah.
That's the good stuff.
So, again, just as we were saying, it wasn't really a major win for the Mexican army over France, but it was a success. Mm-hmm. And it helped to bolster their confidence in the Mexican government, and helped the people, because of the people now saw kind of, I guess, a fighting chance.
It helped morale.
It helped their resistance grow stronger.
Patriotism.
So more people were willing to get involved. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what I mean. That's a big victory. When 3-on-1, that word gets around, that's inspiring.
For sure.
That's inspiring, believe me. That's the stuff you want to hear about right there. Yes.
All right. So, again, on History.com, they stated in 1867, thanks in part to military support and political pressure from the United States, which was finally in a position to aid, because the Civil War ended, France finally withdrew. So it was a little victory, and there's a lot of information. Did I have that in there? There's a lot of information about how, because the Civil War ended, that's the real reason why France kind of withdrew their troops from it.
Because we stopped fighting each other and we're able to look outward instead of looking inward for so many years. Yeah.
All right. The same year, Archduke Ferdinand Maximilian, who had been installed as the Emperor of Mexico in 1864 by Napoleon, was captured and executed by Juarez's forces. Puebla de Los Angeles was renamed for General Zaragoza, who died of typhoid fever months after his historic triumph there. So although Cinco de Mayo originated in the state of Puebla, other parts of the country also take part in the celebration. Traditions include military parades, recreations of the Battle of Puebla, and other festive events. For many Mexicans, however, May 5th is like a day like any other day. It's not even a federal holiday. So everything still remains open. Offices, banks, everything still remains open.
It's a minor holiday, not a major holiday. Yep. Okay.
So in the United States, however, it became Cinco de Mayo became a celebration of Mexican culture and heritage. We celebrate with parades, parties, mariachi music, Mexican folk dancing, traditional foods such as tacos and mole poblano. This is mole poblano, and I had to talk about this because at our Mexican restaurant, they always have the mole sauce.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like traditional Mexican, like authentic Mexican celebration food. And it's like a thick sauce made with chocolate, chilies, nuts, and other spices. And it's usually over like chicken or turkey.
Well,
the mole sauce.
Sounds funky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never had anything like that.
I think Megan likes that. Oh, Hannah. I don't remember. One of them. One of our kids likes the mole sauce.
I'm going to guess Megan.
She's a foodie.
Meg likes quite a bit of different things, yeah.
Mole sauce being one of those like traditional things, again, it differs from family to family, but they all have one thing in common. The mole represents the heart of Mexican culture because it's served on the most special of occasions, including weddings, baby showers, and holidays like Cinco de Mayo.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So there was another article I found from NBC Chicago that was published on May 5th of last year. And they had talked about the first American Cinco de Mayo celebrations date back to the 1860s when Mexicans living in California commemorated the victory over France in Puebla. At that time, the United States was embroiled in the Civil War. News of the underdog Mexican army beating back Napoleon III's forces gave them new strength to California's Latinos who sought to stop the advances of the Confederate army. David Hayes Bautista, professor of medicine and director of the Center for Study of Latino Health and Culture at the University of California, Los Angeles, told NBC News, quote, "For Mexicans in the United States, the Civil War and the French invasion of Mexico were like one war with two fronts. They were concerned about France, which sided with the Confederacy, being on America's doorstep." End quote. The tradition of celebrating Cinco de Mayo has continued in Los Angeles without interruption since 1862, according to Hayes Bautista, although the original reason and the history may have gotten lost over time. So again, then we have the American beer companies cashing in. About a century later, Chicano activists rediscovered the holiday and embraced it as a symbol of ethnic pride. But the party-filled Cinco de Mayo that Americans celebrate today didn't really become popular until United States beer companies began targeting the Spanish-speaking population in the 70s and 80s.
So there you go. So that's why I say we don't remember it being a thing that started when we were kids, and then it very quickly emerged. Okay, so that fits time-wise.
So today, however, Cinco de Mayo in the United States is primarily a celebration of Mexican-American culture, with some of the largest festivals held in Los Angeles, Chicago, and Houston. According to Britannica.com, critics observed, and we kind of talked about this again earlier at the beginning of this podcast, that enthusiasm for the holiday celebration didn't take off with a broader demographic until it was explicitly linked with the promotion of the Mexican alcoholic beverages, and that many U.S. festivities tended to both perpetuate negative stereotypes of Mexicans and promote excessive drinking. So that's on the flip side.
No, that stinks.
I know.
There's always a
There's always one in the crowd.
That stinks. Dang.
But I think that's because of like sombrero wearing.
No, I get it. I understand.
Other kind of stuff, which is not.
Yep. No, I do too. I get it too. But it's, things change so quickly. 20 years ago, I don't think I even looked at it that way. But now I look at it, I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I can see that. But making it associated with the, what did we talk about at the beginning? It was tequila.
Yeah.
And of course there's Coronas.
And you think of,
And that's all you see leading, well, actually, I haven't been seeing a lot of that on TV. I shouldn't say that, but I mean, that they definitely market that. Yeah. It's huge.
And
huge.
then, what is it? Cuervo.
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 That's tequila,
that's tequila. Yeah.
I'm trying to.
I'm not a big tequila
We know
drinker.
we can go and get a good margarita. That's about it.
I am very particular. I like one
La Corona.
drink at that one restaurant, and that's the extent of my tequila expertise.
Yeah, we're not very well rounded that way, which I guess isn't the worst thing.
So I did also pick out some fun facts or myths.
Love fun facts.
The first one we already talked about, which is Cinco de Mayo is not a Mexican Independence Day. The second one was that not everyone, the myth is that everyone in Mexico celebrates Cinco de Mayo. In fact, that isn't true. Puebla does, because it was the Battle of Puebla. So they celebrate that with parades and reenactment of the battle. But other than that, it's not really a big deal in Mexico.
Interesting. So it's pretty much an American holiday at this point.
Yes.
Or most widely celebrated in America.
Right. So the biggest, and that's the third myth, is that it's really popular in Mexico, and it's not at all, really. It's the biggest Cinco de Mayo celebration out there in the world is in Los Angeles, California.
A very high Latino population in Los Angeles as well.
And also because they were involved.
Yeah, no, I kept picking Los Angeles was part of the name, and no, I get it. Yeah, and they're way down there on the border. Like I say, it's very, very southern.
So in Los Angeles, Fiesta Broadway is a multi-day festival with over 300,000 attendees in downtown LA. It's considered the largest Cinco de Mayo event in the world.
Interesting. So it changes. The parade isn't necessarily, but they couldn't do it on a Thursday.
Right.
Yeah.
Another myth, everyone drinks margaritas on Cinco de Mayo.
Come on, that's not real. Wait, what? Why? Come on.
Nope, it's Americans. Americans love margaritas.
Man, we have booze bags.
A survey... that lasts like 4 episodes.
Right? You're right.
And you know what?
We've commercialized and turned everything into booze.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. That's all our fault.
Anyway, a survey by Nielsen last year found that the margarita was the most popular cocktail in the United States, about 60%, and tequila was a favorite liquor base for cocktails, about 44%. So Cinco de Mayo was a great excuse to drink one. Where Cinco de Mayo is celebrated in Mexico, however, people don't drink large amounts of margaritas. They drink aguas frescas, which is a non-alcoholic drink made with fresh fruit and some herbs and spices. It sounds to me, right, like a fresca. I don't know, fresca. I think of like a fruity carbonated soda water kind of thing.
Probably not carbonated. But who knows?
It says sugar water, herbs, spices, and some fresh fruit. So
email us, educate us on that, and if anyone knows exactly a little more about that. Interesting.
Yes, aguas frescas. Frescas. Even where they do celebrate it in Mexico, they're not drinking margaritas.
Again, we're booze bags, yes. Damn.
Myth number, the way it's listed in my show notes are myths by number. So myth number 5, or fun fact number 5, if you will.
Right.
Cinco de Mayo is just a marketing holiday. Certainly marketers take full advantage of Cinco de Mayo, but it's not just about marketing. Southern California began celebrating Cinco de Mayo in 1863 as a show of solidarity with Mexicans over French rule. Historically, California had been under American governance for almost 2 decades. So those celebrations continued into the 20th century to celebrate Mexican identity, so not just about marketing. Then in the 60s, celebrations grew as part of the Chicano rights movement in the U.S., which we talked about earlier, specifically in California.
Yep.
Americans eat and drink a lot.
You can say that again and underline it.
Yes, there's actually little asterisks around that.
In the show notes? Yeah,
in my show
great.
notes.
Yes.
So in the United States, Cinco de Mayo is marked by lots of dancing, lots of drinking, and lots of food. And as we know, there's a lot of indulging that goes on in our culture. Just how much food and drink Americans consume to commemorate the holiday might surprise you. So, according to Produce News, well, first, what do you think's the most? I know what you're going to say. What do you think is the most common eaten food on Cinco de Mayo? And it doesn't have to be a meal. It can just be a...
Rice. No.
Oh, no, I guess I can see that.
Okay.
I can say rice. It's not.
Well, okay. What's the right answer?
Avocados.
Well, I eat a lot of avocados, but wow, really?
So it's according to Produce News.
Lots of guacamole?
Folks in the U.S. eat a staggering 81 million pounds of avocados on Cinco de Mayo.
Good fats.
So, yeah, that's a lot of guac.
It's a lot of guac.
It's a lot of guac.
Makes me want guac.
And you need something to wash it down with.
Yes.
So how about a nice cucumber margarita?
Or some cerveza, yes.
Cerveza.
Right?
Yes. So, yeah.
Wow.
81 million pounds of avocados.
That's a lot of avocados. Wow.
That's a lot.
I would like to see, I'm gonna look up some avocado fields, the trees and stuff. Those which must be vast. It must be unbelievable.
Avocado trees?
I don't know. Do they grow on the ground? Do they grow on trees?
I
think they grow on trees, right? Yeah, they grow on trees.
Well, they're pits.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know.
It's just funny. I can't picture an avocado
Would you say
tree.
like 81 million pounds or something?
81 million pounds of avocados.
That's a lot of
on
pounds
Cinco
of
de Mayo.
avocado on that day.
Just on Cinco de Mayo.
That's a lot of guac.
Yeah. Well, another thing at our restaurant is they do guac on a cart.
Oh, they do a great job. They make it spicy. Oh, so
they make
good.
it right there on a cart at your
Yeah.
table. It's
We
so
tip
good.
those folks. Yeah. Like that a lot. Salivating.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
That's it. We're going to have to go
What do
out
we
now.
got? 2 days till Cinco de Mayo?
We do.
We're celebrating tomorrow.
We do.
All right. This was cool. That was interesting. Like I said, I didn't really know, the origins, I guess. And I would have guessed like an Independence Day or something like that. But of course, it's something that one little inspiring battle that we turned into an American drinking holiday.
Well, and like everything, right? Everything we take it a little bit to the extreme because we tend to be indulgent in our culture, but it's all about, the melting pot, right?
Of course,
We're a little bit of
100%.
everybody. So we talk a lot, I think a lot of our history and a lot of stuff that we've
Everything's
talked
borrowed
about so
from-
far,
yeah.
but it's mostly
Derived,
European.
yeah.
So it's kind of nice to have, a
Mexican,
little bit of
Central American,
yeah,
just on a southern border kind of deal.
mixed
different
in
place
and
for
where
sure.
it came from. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, never underestimate, when few, triumph over many. Like I said,
Right.
that's what that was. That one little battle like that, that's a big ripple effect.
Yeah, for sure.
We're still
Big
talking about it to this
motivator,
day.
Pulls people together.
That's right.
We have a chance.
Yeah. 100%.
And it was like a ragtag little, group. It
Threw 'em
wasn't like
together.
a well-trained
against the
military
French,
unit.
who had landed with their naval. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's,
Yeah.
can't be understated.
No, that's a big deal.
Yeah. Good
So.
for them. Hoorah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Very cool.
All right. You want to wrap it up?
I guess I'll wrap it
Oh,
up.
you don't have to wrap it up. We can wrap it on.
We'll wrap it up.
All right.
All right. So we want to hear from you. Please reach out to us on our social media. Please remember to talk to a friend, share your favorite episode anywhere out there. We rely on you. Again, we're a little indie podcast, so we don't have advertising and we don't get paid for what we do. We just do it out of our love for doing it.
Which is fine, but help spread the word.
Yes, spread the word, please.
Please.
So reach out to us on any social media at Wait What Why Pod. You can email us at waitwhatwhypod@gmail.com. You can also help, again, support us by rating us, leaving a review on any of the podcast directories. And you can become a patron of Wait What Why as well. So with that being said, I want to give a thank you to Francis for our podcast artwork.
Thank you, Francis.
And to all of our listeners for your continued support.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
See you next time. Bye-bye.